What it do, YouTube? It's your boy, BeauxCasanova. The story time for today. I'll tell you guys about the first time I got high.
What the fuck, man?
It's like 2 a.m., almost 3. I even got my food. I finished work and I said, hold on. Let me make a quick story time to tell you guys before I go to sleep. I even have my sleeping mask right here. I was really about to go to sleep. Look, me and my Mickey Mouse mask against the world. But anyways, back to the story. So, the first time I got high, I do not condone drugs. I don't condone any of those things. But there was a time. I tried it once. First and last time. At the time, there was a person I was with. They smoked and all that kind of stuff. They suggested to me, would I want to try? I said, no, I don't smoke. I'm very strong on that. And they said, there's a way for you to get high without me having to necessarily smoke. I said, how? Yeah, guys, apologies. My camera just died. I was with somebody. They smoked. And they told me, there's a way for you to get high without having to necessarily smoke. I said, what you mean?
What do you mean by that?
They were like, you can do edibles. I said, okay. I never thought about that before. They were like, yeah, if smoking is the issue you have, maybe you should try eating.
I'ma eat it.
I said,
You naughty. You teasing me, you naughty.
Now, I'm in two minds. I said, technically, it's still drugs though. However, there's a little bit of a loophole. I'm thinking, I don't know, morally, it feels wrong. But somehow, they swindled me. They convinced me to just try it. To just try one slice, One slice shouldn't hurt. It should be fine. I tried one slice. It just tastes like a normal, I think it was a chocolate cake. It was just a normal chocolate. Hey, a random cat.
Whose fucking cat is this?
I just thought, cool, like, how am I supposed to feel right now? Nothing feels any different. They were just like, no, because when you smoke, you inhale it and then it reaches your system faster or something. So you reach the high faster. Because I ate it, depending on how quick your digestive system is how quick you'll get the high. So for everyone it's different. So she said maybe for me it'll take a bit more time. And I said, well, that's some BS. Like, I'm supposed to be feeling like, oh, chill and all like, oh, cool. And I said, you know what? I said, what if I tried another slice? Would I speed up the process? Boy. Was that a mistake? They were like, no. You don't want another slice, trust me. They said because, it'll double the effects and you don't really want to overdo it the first time you do it because it'll hit you all at once. I said, yada. I'll be fine. They said, okay. They said, cool. I grabbed me another slice, ate it. Oh. Digested. I was sitting back down. I'm looking at the time. 5 minutes go by. 10 minutes go by. I'm like, bro, nothing is still hitting me. I don't feel nothing. So I'm like, this must be some bullshit because I don't feel nothing going on for myself. And then they were just like, just give it time, trust me. But you know me, I'm an impatient person. I said, fuck it. Let me just have one more. I had another slice. And I said, you know what? One more won't hurt. Bro, I ended up having half the cake. Oh, man. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. And this is where the problem started. Now I've had half the cake. I'm thinking, man, this is fake. I don't feel nothing. Maybe my digestive system is too quick, or maybe I'm just built different where the high won't get to me. So I was like, whatever. I went to go lay down. And then, brother, oh my goodness. I was just laying down out of nowhere. Boom! Yo, it's like I could feel my eyes getting chinky. Am I allowed to say that? Sorry. I could feel my eyes getting smaller. Like my eyes just went, shoo. And then I just felt like a whole, what's the word? I just felt like energy just, shoo. Literally all at once, boom, like this. And I was just like, whoa. And everything just started being a bit more slow. And I was just way more like, just chill. And I was just like, yo, the fuck is this, bro? Why am I feeling like this? And they were like, oh, it's hitting you now, isn't it? I said, is this what it is? I was like, cool, yeah, this feels good. I don't know why I'm still squaring my eyes like I'm high right now. Oh yeah, this feels good. And then I was just like, whoa, but I had half the cake, so I was getting hit extra hard, pause. And I was just like, whoa, like, I just laid down. And when I laid down, Bro, I couldn't get back up. I laid down on the bed, and it felt like there was just a heavy person just sitting on my body. I couldn't budge. Like, I just kept moving slow and slow to the point that I couldn't even move no more. And my body was just like, yo, I'm looking up, and then the room's just spinning. I was just like, yo, what's going on, man? I was bugging. When I laid up like this, I could look in the corner. There was a clock in the corner. And looking at the clock, I was watching it. And for I don't know how to explain this. Like, everything around me was spinning. But that clock was the only thing that stood still. So while I was laying down, tripping, I was watching the clock. The clock was going round and round. And I remember looking at the clock. And then it's like, I blinked. And then everything just stopped. And then I remember just like zoning. You know how you zone out? I remember zoning back in. I could feel it. The effects wore off and just like, shoo, I came back to my senses. And I looked around and I was just like, when I looked at the clock, only 5 minutes went by. In my head, I felt like only 5 minutes went by. I look away. I'm looking for the person I was with. They were across the room. And I was just like, what's wrong? They were just looking at me. They were just like, in shock. They were like, what the fuck? And I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What happened? They were like, bro, do you know what you just did? I said, what you mean? Bro, it's been like 5 minutes now. The high was even that long. They looked at me and they said, 5 minutes. They said, brother, look at the clock again. I looked. I said, huh? Bro, the time changed. Bro, it had been 3 hours, bro. Bro, they told me, yo, you were staring at that clock for 3 hours straight, not budging. I said, you're fucking lying to me. ain't no way I was just staring at the clock for 3 hours straight. They said, nah, bro. Look outside. When we started eating the cakes, it was sunny. But it was pitch black like this outside. I said, okay, this shit is not a joke. This shit is not a joke. I said, wow. So you mean to tell me I was just like, for 3 hours, bro? 3 hours? I was just like this. And in my head, I thought only 5 minutes went by. Like, the high just went like this for me. But in real time, 3 hours went by. Now I get why when you see crackers in the street, they're just zoned out like this. And you're thinking, see, this is why you don't do drugs, kids. Don't stay far, far away. That was my one, only, and last time ever doing something like that, ever. I do not condone any of that. Even drinking, I'll drink when I go out with my friends. But even that, no good for you if you do it, overdo it. But you know, to each their own. That's not me judging nobody who does it. If you do it, that's your choice. Nothing to do with me. You know, the older I get, the more I understand everyone needs their own vices. Some people have different ones, but hey, once you're an adult, you can make your own decisions. But I can understand why some people will get into it and why they need that to calm themselves down. I personally wouldn't do it, but I can understand. That's why I'm not really judging nobody who does it. That's your business. So yeah, that's basically it. That's basically the story. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. Hope you guys enjoyed this embarrassing picture of me. And yeah, man, I shall see you guys in the next video. But keep looking out for me on YouTube. Keep supporting me. Like, subscribe, and share with everybody you know. You know, yeah, thank you for watching. Deuces. It's been a while since I said that. Later, people.